An early, powerful memory of my childhood was when, as a 5-year-old, I was playing with 7-year-old Lakshmi. And in the course of the play under the tree, when I touched her, she exclaimed, "Madigolanu muttukunnade girigilla, girigilla." I touched an untouchable. I don't remember her face anymore, but I remember and will remember those words forever. Firstly, for when she chided me, I had this deep sense of contamination and guilt, till my mother reassured me in the evening that it was okay for me to play with another child. Secondly, when I grew up to realize that this diabolical system continues to perpetuate itself in our society, like a virus, recruiting its victims, conscripting them to perpetuate itself, not simply in the subcontinent, but in 13 countries. We have untouchability. We have it in Shinto countries. We have it in Buddhist countries. We have it in the Hindu society. We have it in Islamic Yemen. We have it in animist Nigeria. People who are discriminated, people who are not treated as people. 250 million such people on our planet. How does this happen? It happens because it's enforced by force, and it happens because there is moral policing. A few hundred years ago, the moral police of the city of Pune did not allow the so-called untouchable to come into the town if they did not tie a broom to their backside so that they could then sweep away the defiling of the earth that would happen when the untouchable walks on Mother Earth. Not just that, you had to also carry a bowl hanging from your neck, because then that would collect the spit so that you would not do anything wrong to Mother Earth. And the untouchable is not allowed to enter the city before 9 and has to leave before 3, because how can you allow the contaminating shadow of the untouchable to sully the pure houses of the upper caste? How did they accept it? Where are the roots of such acceptance? What allows people to use difference as a basis for discrimination? How do people acquiesce to this exploitation and this inhuman treatment? The roots are really in belief, because belief drives behavior. Belief is powerful. It gives you identity. It gives you meaning in life. Belief lets you go to the heights of poetry and nobility of behavior and thought. But very often, belief takes you to plumb the depths of human deprivation. It makes you inhuman. It becomes blind belief. And as Ingersoll so powerfully told us once, when it is blind belief, it is superstition. And superstition is a child of ignorance and the mother of misery. This misery is widespread across continents, across civilizations, and down the millennia. Belief drives behavior. Blind belief destroys us. This is the kind of blind belief which leads the parents of children in Kinshasa to lead 50,000 of their children out of their homes, to cast them out, because an evangelical pastor told them that the child has the mark of the devil. It is belief which tells you that the human child is born of sin. It is belief that tells you that a child will bring fortune or misfortune. It is belief that takes away your humanity from you. It is belief that leads you to murder. It is scary. That is blind belief. Not too long ago, 130 kilometers from here, we went to visit a village 130 kilometers from this technology capital of this state of South India. We go to a village where an old man, Niranjan, drunkard, was stoned to death. Not too long ago, and only 130 kilometers from here. 400 people in the village brought him to the center of the village, outside the temple to which he has no access because he was born untouchable. Within the premises of the village panchayat, which should have protected him, they tied him to a pole and they stoned him to death. 400 men, women, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, involved themselves in this act. When we went to the village and we spoke to them, not one admitted to having seen this old vulnerable man being killed. These are the same fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters who would stop their child from throwing a stone at a passing dog, saying that would be bad. They did not do that for an old man already dying. They kill him. Blind belief, superstition, kills the human in us. I went to the village and spontaneously hugged the widow of this man. And she wailed, saying, "You are the first people to meet me and talk to me in the last 3 days." A village in which she and her slain husband had grown and lived for at least 60 years. Blind belief does this to you. Not to one, not to two. 2,500 women over the last 15 years have been officially documented for having been killed on charges of sorcery and witchcraft. Officially. Many are not reported because the rest of the family members are in danger if ever this is reported. And no one has really counted the men who are killed. Niranjan, who was killed, that old man, is not part of these statistics. They are counting only the women. No one has started counting the countless children who are kidnapped and later sacrificed to find that hidden treasure, which is a myth, a mythology, and a belief propagated also by popular cinema. No one is counting them. Why are they doing this? What is happening? What is this belief that is leading them to do this? A chili, a bit of turmeric, a piece of lemon, deposited outside your home is a sign to you that you are the marked person, that evil shall befall you. And in an act of supreme self-defense, people then start identifying the perpetrator of this evil act, which will ultimately lead you to die, or give you illness, or give you misfortune. That person shall be hunted, because this belief scares you. This belief scares you to death. No, this belief scares you to murder. 2,500 women and still counting. Just a few weeks ago, 6 people of a family were killed in a state, Odisha. Of them, a 3-year-old child. A 3-year-old child suspected of perpetrating sorcery on people. That is what belief does. Less murderous, but very damaging, is the belief, the false belief, the blind belief perpetrated by the swarm of dark black practitioners of the occult, the ones who sell you astrology, numerology, the ones who scare you and then offer you some solace. They tell you that this universe is made of planets, which includes the sun. They tell you that this universe is made of another planet, which is the moon, which it is not. The sun is a star, the moon is a satellite. In their universe, there are 2 other planets, Rahu and Ketu, which decide when you should do what so that you have success in your lives. These are the ones who will tell you, do not look at the moon in the night on this particular festival day, because otherwise misfortune shall befall you. These are the people who ask you to change your name, the spelling of your name, so that you can get good fortune. Less murderous, but equally destructive of the common sense and logic which makes us unique people. This universe of belief is a strange one. In this, dead people don't go away. They just get reborn. The Dalai Lama believes this. And he, in collusion with many grown-ups, actually worked and conspired to groom a child of 5 or 6 years of age, to make her believe that she was a reincarnation of a dead playmate of the Dalai Lama. For many, many years, for 3 years, this child was paraded in public, and this child was, on the basis of the superstition that the stars and the planets influence your life, that when you die, you are reborn, was able to perpetrate an outrageous crime on people, which is that this child was now projected and sold as a reborn dead person. This child no more had any identity of its own. Is it possible? Should this be allowed? Should this child be in TV studios, whereas she should be in the temple or in the school? These were the questions people were asking innocently. They lost their sense of discretion. So the humanists and the rationalists got together and said, should this child be in the temple or should this child be in school? I, along with my colleagues, went to the Human Rights Commission to plead that the child has a right to childhood. The child has a right to be not misled into believing falsehood about herself, about also a perspective in life where she can go to school, study. Happily, for the first time in the world's jurisprudence, we have the Human Rights Commission order that the child has a right to be treated as a child, and any attribution of any supernatural powers to this child, contrary to fact, would be a violation of the child rights of that child, and anyone doing this would be prosecuted. The child, happily, is in school. It doesn't stop there. If there are people who tell you that dead people come back to life, there will be the people who will exploit that belief as well. This is a high-flying Norwegian trickster, an evangelist who came to Secunderabad to tell people that he can bring back to life those who died. And many believe in him. Look at the monogrammed aeroplane that he has. He flies in this. He goes to Pakistan. He went to different other countries. He came to India, but he made false claims. We did an investigation, Levi Fragel and I, and exposed him to the Norwegian public. Heartbroken, 6 months later, the richest evangelist of Norway died. He did not come back to life. It is not about petty crime. It is not about silly gullibility that we are talking. The great painter Goya, in his etching, "The Sleep of Reason Brings Forth Monsters," told us about the dark swarm of creatures of the night which will come and occupy our mind and our lives if reason is allowed to sleep. Reason is in its perilous repose in Africa, in all the 54 countries of Africa, and in all the 52 countries of Asia, together forming 2/3 of humanity. And when reason fails in our lives, very, very dangerous things happen. If you do not agree with what religion says, with what blind belief says, you will be called a blasphemer. You will be stoned to death on the strength of a holy book. You will be, on the strength of a holy book, exterminated because you dared to think. It is the same intolerance that we encounter when we fight with the astrologers. When we fight with the astrologers, we are inspired by two things. One, that we should be basing our beliefs on facts and facts that we know. We are inspired by the fact that Kepler said that you should not entertain the foolish daughter of a wise mother. Foolish daughter, astrology; wise mother, astronomy. We are inspired by Galileo, who says the holy books are good. They tell you how to go to the heaven, but they don't tell you how the heavens go. And we fight with the holy book to show what is not right and to show what is not for today in those books. When you do that, you are a blasphemer. They have been stoned and killed. Many people have tried to use laws against blasphemy to actually kill people or remove them from the scene. This is Dr. Sheikh, who we rescued from Pakistan. He was charged with blasphemy. He is now safely in Europe, but not everyone is that lucky. The 4 bloggers of Bangladesh who were killed for saying learn science, understand the universe on the basis of science. All of them killed. Not just them, not just young people. Old, frail people whose ideas terrify young people, because these people might be old, their ideas are modern and fresh, and the ancient superstition of the ages takes over the minds of young people. 3 old people with modern ideas killed heartlessly by young people on motorcycles because they couldn't face the light of their reason. How do we respond? We respond with knowledge. Knowledge and reason are the only antidotes available to us to fight bigotry and dogma. We have to do it. I have started a TV program which is called The Big Question with myself. And this tells people about the universe, how we are constructed, and how we go about understanding the universe. Why do we do this when this is a murderous occupation? We do it because reason has its reasons. These reasons are those of the heart and those of the brain. My reasons are very clear. This is lie hunting. This is the way we preserve civilization. This is the way we protect democracy. Democracy needs debate, not dogma. It needs reason, not ritual. And we have to do it. And the most important thing is when we do this, we remember Plato, who warned us that children may be afraid of the dark, and that's okay. The problem is with the adults who are afraid of the light. And it is with those kind of adults that we fight day in and day out. Thank you.